This video is sponsored by Bityard. With over 400 cryptos to trade on their spot, perpetual coin futures, USDT futures, with leverage of 1x to up to 125x, you can trade foreign exchange, commodities like gold, silver and oil, and traditional markets like Nasdaq, all with some of the lowest fees available on any trading platform. You can use their copy trader to copy other traders with better performance than you, or you can become a copy trader yourself and earn a few extra percent from the people that follow you. Plus you got 9 out of 10 stars from the Coin Bureau guy. Bityard! Hello everybody, welcome back. I am going to show you Chainlink and I'm going to present something to you. I've had a few comments and a few DMs on my Telegram to which you should join. It's free, of course, it's free, just feel free to join. I'm sweating my absolute bollocks off here at the moment. It's so hot, so hot. So I'm going to show you Chainlink, a few interesting things. So let's just quickly go back in time. I'll try to be quick with this video. So this is Chainlink back in the last bear market, right? So let's just think about this. I don't know if any of you are around. I didn't play this, but it's worthy of looking at. I was on the sidelines for the last bear market, having exited my XRP position after close to, well, it's about an 80x I did. And then I thought, right, that's it, I'll sit back, enjoy that, and let's just monitor the situation. And I suggest that many of you probably might be in a good position just doing that anyway, just waiting for something to change. But things aren't always that simple, and you can still play bear markets, and there has been, as we've recognised over the last 2 weeks, contrary to popular belief, that altcoins can outperform Bitcoin, even in a bear market. People can't believe their actual eyes, and this is something that Chainlink did in the last bear market. So just for context, Bitcoin popped in January 2018, and slowly and steadily came all the way down, making lower highs, lower lows, capitulating all the way down, and effectively bottoming around December 2018, but didn't even go into a proper uptrend until April 2019. So let's just think about what Chainlink was doing throughout that period. So Chainlink, it popped, where are we? It popped over here with everything else, came down, and then found itself a bottom. And double bottomed, I suppose. It's not very important to recognise it, but look at the dates. It started a consistent uptrend halfway through the bear market versus its Bitcoin pair, obviously. So a consistent uptrend began halfway through the bear market. We're halfway through this one, you would say, probably more than halfway through at the moment, right? And from this point forward, it actually rallied about a 400%. So just measure it from its absolute bottom to when did the bear market end? When was that? Did we say it was around about? Well, the uptrend began. Nothing really started to make gains until April 1st, 2019. So that's around here. This is where we started to make rallies. And recognize this, like everything else started to rally. Bitcoin started to rally more than that, to be honest with you. It went from about 4,000 to 14,000 it really quickly, about 3 or 4 months. And you can see the sats getting drained out of it. And then, yeah, carried on thereafter. So that is what, 436% move in a bear market. So if you had, let's just say $10,000, or yeah, just say $10,000, you wouldn't have made 436%, but you would have been better off buying Chainlink than you would have been buying Bitcoin. You would have been able to buy effectively 4 times more Bitcoin by the end of this run than you would have. This is a Bitcoin trader's dream, right? You want charts that do this because it means that you get more Bitcoin, and that's what I liked. So let's have a think about what it's doing now, right? So, as we can see, this is not just exclusive to Chainlink. There's a lot of top cap altcoins that are doing this. I made a video this morning which probably had too much information about it. There was traditional markets, commodities, Dixie, Bitcoin, you name it all. It was probably too much. But part of that video I was talking about was how, interestingly, some of these shittest coins that you would ever imagine, or the ones that are most unpopular, are the ones that are outperforming Bitcoin. And we saw this on the live stream, you know, people wanting to trade altcoins, and I can understand why you'd want to do that. Altcoins are where the money is, but for the for actual shit coins, as in the ones with low market caps, you know, they're to be left alone. They don't have any setups. But the ones like XRP, ICP, EOS, you know, there's tons of them. They all actually have good setups on their Bitcoin pairs, similar to what we just saw historically for Chainlink to Bitcoin in the last bear market. They're looking like that. Does this mean they're going to continue? I don't know, but let me show you something. So that someone sent me a video the other day of some. He was a popular YouTuber. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know who he was. Never heard of him before. But he was trying to use the Ichimoku Cloud, or he was. I wouldn't say he was trying. He was convinced that he was using the Ichimoku Cloud. He wasn't using it. I don't know what he was doing, but it wasn't how you're supposed to do it. The beauty of the Ichimoku Cloud is that it gives you signals, right? Whether it's to buy or that there's a trend beginning, and then it will give you an exit point for that trend. That is not about support resistance. That's not what it's about. It's about signals. It's about a set of criteria that when all 3 or 4 things work at the same time, it says, okay, now it's time to enter a trade. So the signal that looks like it's close to being generated is for a pump signal. It'll tell you that there's a pump is likely, but it won't give you an exit point. That's for you to determine. And it needs 4 things of the Ichimoku Cloud to confirm. First of all, you need a green portion of the cloud if we're looking for a pump. Obviously, if this can work in the inverse, we could be looking for shorts, but we don't need to talk about that because that's not what we're talking about. So first thing is a green portion of the cloud here. The second thing is going to be price action above the cloud, so we've got that. The third thing will be a conversion and a baseline cross. So the conversion and baseline of this red crossing this blue, they're basically moving averages, but with subtle differences. But you're just looking for a cross. This cross can take place anywhere, below the cloud, in the cloud, or even above the cloud. If it happened above the cloud, it would be really bullish. But it can happen anywhere. And then the last thing is this lagging span, or the Chiku span, whichever you want to call it, needs to close above the cloud. So as you can see, we've got 3 of the 4 components that we need for this to have a pump. And what we would do is we'd determine, all right, a pump is likely, where's it going to go to? And then you just simply think about supports and resistances historically and where it's most likely to go to. And the first major area I would say from here would be up to this line here, which is about 19%. We've got these tops over here, tops here, supports all are over here as well. So we're talking about 4,000 sats basically, give or take, and that would just be the start. Now another thing to recognize is that this is your 200 exponential moving average. There's no coins, or very rarely, there's hardly any coins at the moment or charts that have reached their 200 exponential moving average on a daily. Some of them have not even reached it on a 4-hourly. We can just have a look at Bitcoin here. 200 exponential for Bitcoin is all the way up here at 37,600 more or less. The 4-hourly 200 exponential is all the way up here at 26,500. So obviously when we look at this is a Bitcoin pair, so it's super bullish. Obviously golden crossed all the way back down here back in June the 9th. And yeah, it's going bullish. So it's the first chart that I can think of with relatively decent trading volume. Let's face it, liquidity counts for a lot, which is why I put so much into it. You know, you wouldn't catch me putting large amounts of cash into something like BITRUE right now. It's just not going to happen. There's no liquidity. I wouldn't be able to do it, but you can do it for something like Chainlink. And yes, the first chart of significance, which has already reached the 200 exponential on a daily. It's a big deal. Now this is only a Bitcoin pair, but it's good. It's good. So a trend has already begun on the 4-hourly. A trend is not confirmed on the daily, but could go from strength to strength if we break above 3,500 sats. And that would easily happen if we get this signal, and all we need is this to close above this portion of the cloud. And this is just a reflection of where the price is 26 periods behind, and so effectively all we need to think about is that we need to close, Chainlink needs to close, Satoshi is above 3,400 sats more or less, give or take. The more the merrier, and then that signal is baked in. You can come back and have a retest of some moving averages, and from there you would expect a springboard. No signals are generated with 100% success rate, but the Ichimoku Cloud is usually pretty good. So let's have a think about what the tether pair looks like, because obviously earning Bitcoin is good, stacking sats is good, but it's no good because we also want to make some real money as well, don't we, really? So let's think about what we're seeing here. So the daily for Chainlink is not quite the same. It's not quite the same. There is momentum building, but it's relatively weak. There is not an enormous amount of volume building on here, not to the same extent that Bitcoin's been traded. Look, so much more money has been traded on its Bitcoin pair than its tether pair, but it's not nothing. That's a lot of money, but there's more Bitcoins being traded into this than there is tether, which is fine because that's my preference anyway. We'll take it to a 4-hourly. What do we see? This is one of the first charts on a 4-hourly that's touched its 200 exponential as well. So it's not just the daily on its Bitcoin pair, but it's the 4-hourly on its tether pair, which has reached an area way before anything else has done. So the 4-hourly over here is pretty good, we would be looking for this to be reclaimed, and that's about $7.40. Once that gets reclaimed, that's a building block for an uptrend, just as we saw a building block of an uptrend when we reclaimed this 200 exponential over here. Way bang, golden cross, dump down into it. That's standard procedure, and then carry on. So the pinnacle portion of price action for Chainlink is going to be about $7.50. Closure above there should have continuation, probably up to the $8 and $9 zone, and see where we go from there. For Bitcoin, it's for the Bitcoin pair, it's basically, where were we? It was about 35,000, I think, wasn't it? Let me just double check that again. It's this red portion of the cloud. I think it was 34,000 sats. Yeah, it was 34,000 sats. So we're close to marking our territory, really, for what could be continuation on Chainlink. But remember, there's a difference between trades and investments. I'm happy for the portion that I bought around here, just to hold and wait out. It's encouraging to see that this chart has ended up developing momentum and pushing up towards creating bullish signals and trends beginning. But it's still very early days, and we can't deny that Bitcoin's price action is going to influence Chainlink anyway. But anyway, hopefully I'll put my point across. There are signals generating, there are trends looking relatively good on the 4 hourly. We're looking for that to transfer to the daily on both Bitcoin and USDT pairs. And if you asked me now where would I rather have my money, if I had to go all in on either Bitcoin or Chainlink, I would probably say all in on Chainlink. If I had only one position allowed out of the two, so what are you going to choose? You can only have one. I would say, well, it's got to be Chainlink. Chainlink has got the setups, it's got the chart momentum, it's got the liquidity as well, it's got everything that you'd want. And yeah, I think at the moment, and it's got the historical relevance of the fact that it actually outperformed Bitcoin by 400% in the last bear market too. So I'm not saying it's the next best thing from sliced bread, but there's definitely a bullish case to be built here, which kind of trumps pretty much all the other coins that we generally look at, including Bitcoin as well. So yeah, I thought, yeah, hopefully you will have got something from that. Anyway, if you want to know more about the Ichimoku Cloud, I will make a video tutorial. There's two really important ways to play it. I don't go watching these other YouTubers who just talk about clouds like they're just smears on a chart. They are signal creators, right? So you know, you can buy fancy indicators that give you buy signals, but you don't need them. You can use the Ichimoku Cloud and it will give you buy signals, but they happen far and few between, but they can be transferred onto any time frame. You can use them on the 5-minute, 15-minute, hourly, 4-hourly, daily, weekly. They work on all time frames. It's one of the best indicators you can use, and it's the only leading indicator that I do use. Most of my trends, my trades are based on momentum. Momentum is my preference, but the Ichimoku Cloud can give you confirmation of the momentum building, and it's such a great indicator. There are a number of ways to use it, but there's two really good effective ways to use it, and I'll make some videos on that. Maybe tomorrow, because it's definitely something you should learn. Anyway, folk, thank you for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Like and share and subscribe and join the Telegram and the Patreon, and you know, tell your next door neighbour that there's a guy on YouTube who talks and you might like it. Take it easy.